Okay, guys, hello and welcome to our workshop learning all about the tarot. My name is Sean McGeough. I am also known as Psychic in the City. I am an international TV psychic medium and also author of the best-selling book Tarot for Modern Times. I have been reading the tarot and doing one-to-one readings for the past decade, which is very hard to believe considering I'm only 12. But anyway, and I actually got my first deck of tarot cards when I was 13 years old. So I've been on a journey with the tarot for 20 years of my life. The tarot have been part of my life more than half of my life, to be totally honest. I'm 33 now, so got my first deck 20 years ago. For those that have the book, you know where I got my first deck from. I got it from my aunt, who unknowingly paid for it for me. And funny story, well, not maybe funny, but just a nice another wee story just to add on that. My aunt passed away last year. That's not the funny part, guys. She passed away last year, and I didn't realize that I actually released the book on her 1 year anniversary. I thought that I released it beforehand. Turns out I got my dates wrong, and I released the book that the dedication is hers, or is to her. So I released it on her 1 year anniversary. So I'm really not surprised that it went into the bestseller, because she was like my number one supporter in life. So it's a nice wee story. It's not necessarily a funny story, but I think it's quite funny that silly me thought I'll get this done the day before, and turns out I done it the day of. So I read and teach from the Faulkner Tarot. Sorry, my lights are probably going to distract the cards a little bit, but I have made. Oh, we have more Faulkner Tarot readers. Awesome. I got my first deck of Faulkner cards 2013, and I have not looked back at all. So they were my first deck. And yeah, they're just fantastic. They step away from darker, scarier images that you would find in more traditional tarot decks. So that's what I use if anyone wants to know that throughout the workshop. They are available on eBay direct from Rhiannon. I don't sell them myself. But you can get them the black and white or the color. I just use the black and white. I know that there's a few other readers and Faulkner trainers that are on, and they mix and match between the two, but I just love them. Book is in the Amazon cart as soon as I get money. Good stuff, Dawn. Good stuff. I'm delighted. So yes. Welcome to our workshop. So let me just get my PowerPoint presentation up. Like I said, do familiarize yourself with Zoom. There will be an option for you to raise your hand, because over the next little bit, I will not be able to see you. Which is fine, as long as you can see and hear me, but I should be notified if you put anything in the chat box, or if you go ahead and raise your hand. I should see those things. So this is just a little picture of the book. This is supposed to be the main title thing, but then I thought I'd have a good brainwave and do a wee countdown timer. So the book Tarot for Modern Times actually came from me doing readings over the past 10 years and seeing things beyond the traditional textbook meanings that we find in the tarot, such as, let me see, such as things that relate to today's world, the times that we live in. So this book has keywords rather than pages and pages and pages per card. So it has keywords of each card, traditional meanings, because obviously they still stand today, and also modern meanings that I've seen, things like social media, online dating, bank fraud, all these things that incorporate into the day that we live in. Also, card combinations. As someone that has been teaching the tarot for a very long time, I find that my students or people that I've taught have difficulty with reading cards and combinations, such as different suits falling together and things like that. And also included with the book is a bonus video downloads, which are all available in the group on Facebook, Tarot for Modern Times. But if you're not in the Facebook group, you can email me and I will send you the links to them. So that is the book. That is what I'm obviously plugging as much as I possibly can, because my little 7-year-old nephew has me robbed. So you all have to buy the book so I can spoil him. Just kidding. So welcome to our workshop. Today we are going to be looking at the 4 suits as an overview. We're going to be breaking down the cups, so we're going to be delving into the cups with just a little bit more information. And you can see how they would play out. And then I will show you a very simple yet extremely effective 3-card spread that I use for answering specific questions. For answering specific questions using your cards. And I know a lot of people will, pick a card and go off that way, but I will teach you something much easier, and it will be something that you can apply into your own life or actually doing readings for clients. And I will also have a very special announcement today as well, since a lot of you haven't left me alone and I have to tell you. So let's look at our 4 suits. So for those that don't know, the tarot was originated as just the major arcana. They are the Fool through to the World, and they are actually used, and I go into this in much detail at another point, they were actually used as a tool to help us understand the archetypes and potential challenges and transformations that we go through as a mind, body and spirit complex. These are things that I will be teaching at a very deep level, but just so you know that this is what the tarot originally was. And then they got a little bit twisted around. People started in astrology and things like that into the cards, which takes them away from what their original thing was. But you could really set me off on this and I would talk about this all night long. But anyway, so then what was added on a few hundred years ago was the suits. We have the cups, wands, pentacles, and swords. And I like to keep things super simple because I've actually got 20 PowerPoints made up for today's workshop. So I like to keep things very simple. So these suits represent a different quadrant of our life. Things that would incorporate us and the lives that we live. So our cups, very straightforward with our cups, they are governed by the sign of water, the element of water. And that governs our emotions, our relationships, and most importantly, how we view the world around us. And through my years of doing readings and teaching, I seem to find that people don't understand that about the cups. The cups isn't just emotions and relationships. It's also the viewing of the world around us, how we understand the world around us. And that comes from the cups. Now, if we move on to the wands is our day-to-day life, so to speak. Which is more commonly known as today as our work and our social side. As we can see with our beautiful Faulkner Tarot, we have the 4 of Wands, we have the feet up on the desk. That's probably having a little break, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing after this workshop. So the wands would represent those. So in a reading that's very wands based, it's very wands heavy, we know that that's the things that we're speaking about. Our pentacles is our health and our wealth. Because as some people say, or as the old gypsy saying used to be, your health is your wealth. And that's the way that would come across in a reading. Very simple, very straight to the point. I forgot to mention with wands are governed by the element of fire. And pentacles is earth, which is then, like I said, is the health and the wealth. So the journey from ace to 10 will tell you a story to do with that quadrant of our lives. And swords are problems and troubles. But also importantly, and another thing that I found lacks with a lot of people's understanding of the tarot is it's also our thought processes. So it isn't just problems and troubles, it's also how we think about the world around us. It's also how we think about those people around us as well. So there's plenty of little wee nuggets of information that I've dropped in there for you already, guys. So hopefully they will be able to enhance your readings alone just by knowing, those little things that you're looking at. Because at the end of the day, the tarot have meanings, and that is just the way that it is. The tarot cards have meanings. Now, obviously, I know I've wrote a book on the tarot that extends what we already know. It doesn't replace. And there is a big difference between intuitively reading the tarot and knowing what the cards mean. Now, I am not trying to say that anybody that just intuitively reads the tarot is wrong, because your intuition could be 100% spot on. But say your intuition's way over here giving you information and the actual meanings of the cards are here, then you're going to give not the wrong information, but the cards could be telling you something else. So it's good to have an understanding of what the cards mean, which is again why I wrote my book in such a way that I did. I am not telling you that this card means this because of this river flowing this way. I want you to tell me where you see that meaning and allow your intuition to come on top of it to give you more details. So let me go on to my next slide here. So here we have some tarot cards of the suit of wands. So we can see here, now I'm not going through them all ace to 10. Each suit has our ace to 10 plus our court cards, more popularly or commonly known as the people cards. So standard across the board. Aces are the beginning of the journey within that suit. So aces are always going to mean a new beginning. Now, our ace of wands, because we know that our wands talks about our work on our social side, we know that the beginning of anything to do with work is a new idea. And then we move on to the two of wands. Now, you know that I've left a couple of numbers out here because I'm not going through them all. We have our two of wands. So what follows after having that idea? Putting it down on paper. The planning process of it. The signing of contracts. Maybe we're a bit nervous. Maybe we're a little bit apprehensive. Now, I am looking at these solely to do with work. Obviously, if I'm to do a relationship reading and these cards fall out, I would then interpret them differently. So our four of wands, which was the one that I picked a little early, we know that if we're going, we've got the idea at the ace, we're planning it out. 3 is going to be a bit of work. 4 is going to tell us, right, it's time to have a little bit of a rest and a relaxation here. And with that little bit of a rest and a relaxation, we can put our feet up and not worry so much. And then we have the more higher numbers there, the 9 and the 10. We know that the 9, we're feeling pressure, we're feeling stress related to our work. 9's telling us that we're working to deadlines. And the 10, well, just look at this, we're frustrated, we're getting our paper, we're slamming it on the desk, that things just aren't working right for us. So this is just a wee bit of an overfeel or an overview of our wands cards. And I do hope that you are understanding very much so. And the reason as to why I love the Faulkner Tarot so much, and I do not make any money, just so you know, on anyone that buys the Faulkner Tarot. I love them so much because they're so easy to understand. All those, airy-fairy, mystical woo-woo stuff's all taken away. And we have our meanings that we can apply to everyday life. So this is our suit of wands. We can see there. We're just doing an overview. Pentacles. Obviously, I've got a little bit lazier and thought to myself, no, I'm only doing 3 cards this time. So here we have our Ace of Pentacles. Does anyone want to have a good wee guess at what the Ace of Pentacles is going to mean? If we know that Pentacles is talking about work, money, the Ace is a new idea, It just goes to stand that the Ace of Pentacles is a beginning with money, with finances. So there we have that. Now, they don't always tell a story from 1 to 10 consecutively this way. You know, here we have our 2, where our previous 2 was we're making decisions, we're getting it down on paper, a little bit more apprehensive. The 2 of Pentacles is a little bit tense, it's a little bit tight, it's a little bit like, oh my god, I thought I should have had an extra couple of zeros in that, in my bank balance. And if we look at our 3 of Pentacles card, we know very clearly here that, okay, we're going to work, we're going to earn our money. So we can see here that the Pentacles is very, very money related, whether we're talking about work or we are just talking about cold hard cash, or I suppose everything's digital at the minute. Nobody wants to trade in cash. So you can see with our Pentacles. Also, fun fact about the 3 of Pentacles, it means sort of like starting at the bottom of the career ladder and working our way up, whether that be an apprenticeship or whatever it is, but we're learning this skill and we're going to make money while we're doing it. Brings me back years ago whenever I was a trainee hairdresser, but we'll not talk about that too much. Now here we have the swords. A lot of people don't really like the swords because, well, let's be honest, who likes problems? Who likes troubles? Who likes thought processes that are quite on the negative side? But me being me, I love the swords because it always gives us a chance to grow. It gives us a chance to go, okay, I really need to pull my socks up here a little bit. As we can see with these cards, the 3, the 4, the 7, that would be awful getting those in a reading, wouldn't it? Our 3 of Swords, not feeling it. 4 of Swords, I'm gonna sleep this off. Guys, this is not the the technical meanings that I'm giving you, by the way. We're just looking at them. The 7 of Swords is probably the more one that we don't really like, because what this one talks about is we create our own luck. As you can see that very clearly in that card. We'll take a second, does somebody want to tell me why this card would mean bad luck or a bad run of luck, or we create our own luck? Let me open up the little chat box and let's see who's going to throw something in there. Who can see that? Hope to get the card soon. That is awesome. Walking under a ladder. Bad luck. Well done, Dawn. Absolutely. You can see that there. She's walking onto the ladders. Nicholas threw that in as well. 100%. So, God, I should have really named this workshop Mon I Promote the Faulkner Tarot for an hour and a half. But I'm joking, honestly. But there you can see that, guys. You can see how easy the tarot is once we have an understanding of the suits. And once we have an understanding of what they mean, you know, you don't need to overcomplicate things in any way, shape, or form. And I am a big, big, big advocate of that. Like, I have used the tarot from I was 13 to help me sort out problems, to help me figure out my relationships with, you know, my mom and my family, and because that's what the tarot was for, you know, and these are things that I teach. Now, let me see, where's my little cruiser gone? So let's get stuck into the cups. I'm going to get these Faulkner cards. I read the Rider-Waite. Rider-Waite is brilliant, Cheryl. They're a fantastic deck. They're the most popular deck. They're public domain at the end of the day. That's just because they've been around that long. They're probably the first deck that everybody gets. They really are. Not one thing wrong with them in any way, shape, or form. But the Faulkner deck is just fabulous. I will send you an email afterwards of where you can get them. Like I said, it's eBay and stuff, but I know some people are selling theirs for a lot of money, and I would rather just get them direct from Rhiannon, to be fair. So, are we ready to tell the story of love with the cups? Because that's what it is. It's the story of love, and it's the one that maybe depresses us all just a little bit. Now, just so you know that I do tend to make a few wee jokes while I'm explaining this deck, please do not think that I'm being serious, or I will say, because when I'm going through it, she didn't make him a sandwich. Please don't think I'm being serious saying that. Obviously, I have no idea what women do in relationships. So here we have our Ace of Cups. So let's talk about this beautiful couple at point number, at card number two. So Ace of Cups, we see the love, it's in bloom. We've just met somebody with the Ace of Cups. This is a brand new beginning. This is an emotional journey that is going somewhere. This is love. This is romance. This is commitment that is here. And we can see at the Two of Cups, we can see how happy they are. Look at that. So our Ace of Cups is the new beginning. Maybe we're texting, maybe we've met online, back and forth. The Two of Cups moves into that dating stage, that stage where it's beyond just the text messages, where you get off those dating apps and you focus on the person that you're with. And the Three of Cups is that card of committing to that relationship. Now, obviously, we know going back a few hundred years ago, there wasn't really much else to do. There was, in the terms of relationships, there was no such thing as, cohabitation or anything like that. It was, you met someone, you got engaged, you got married, you lived together, you had babies, blah, blah, blah. And it's a whole different world that we live in today. So the Three of Cups really speaks about that being committed to one another in a relationship. Can you all see that? So our Ace moves beautifully into the two, moves beautifully into the three, into the commitment. And then we have the Four of Cups. So let's fast forward this relationship 6 months to a year. And you know the way at the Three of Cups stage, everything's lovely and she's always putting the makeup on and the lipstick on for him getting out of work, and he doesn't, go out with the lads after work anymore on a Friday because he really wants to see her, and, that's the beautiful Three of Cups stage, and then we move into the Four of Cups stage. She stopped putting her lippy on. He's continued to go out to work, out with the lads after work on a Friday. The effort seems to sort of disappear. The communication sort of seems to disappear at the Four of Cups stage. And then we move on to the Five of Cups stage, where we're kind of feeling a little bit down. What's going on here? Why isn't he coming home after work? Why isn't she making me a sandwich when I get in? That's the Five of Cups stage. I can feel Yvonne rolling her eyes at me, and I can't even see her on screen. But that's my little joke, guys. So the Five of Cups, it's a time of questioning with the five. Fives are generally conflictual cards, internally, externally, but as a whole, that's our fives. So we'll go through this period of thinking and not communicating. So then what comes after that? That's where we'll move into the Six, which we're kind of maybe looking back going, things were better then. Why isn't he? Why isn't she? But no one's doing anything about it. So the Six is a very crucial point in the tarot. The Six of Cups in a relationship, it's a very, very crucial point. Because that leads into the Seven. Which the Seven is either or. And what I mean by that is the Seven of Cups is we take action and we get it sorted, we make a decision, or we're leaving. And that moves into the Eight of Cups. What are we doing together? So the Seven of Cups can be that beautiful godsend card where we sit and we talk about things, or the Eight of Cups, again, can go two different directions. Is he packing his bags and going, do you know what it is? I miss my sandwiches. Is she packing her bags and going, didn't even like you to begin with? I think your brother's better looking. Now, again, they're not textbook meaning, guys, so don't write that down. But I find if we have a bit of fun, we can sort of understand it a little bit more. So the Eight of Cups, is the walking away card. But what people don't always understand, that walking away doesn't necessarily mean walking away from the relationship. It could mean walking away from that situation at the 4, 5, 6 of cups and making that effort. So let's look at that as if our beautiful couple at the two of cups decided, do you know what? I'm going to work at this here. I'm really sorry that you felt this way. Do you know what? I'm actually thinking we should move in together. I know. So soon. Aren't we delighted for them? And then what comes after that? Happy, happy times. Sometimes it's a baby. Sometimes it's marriage. But if we look as we move on into the 9, which is the happy times, and obviously we're using this story as the sake that they worked at it. So they moved in together. That was their wishes coming true. She loves him, he loves her. They decide to move in together. They get married at the 10. Now, the 10 isn't just the marriage card, because people seem to think, oh, look, it's the happy couple. But it's not necessarily marriage. So say the 9 is resolving the problems. It's the wishes coming true. Remember that, guys. Very important meaning. And the 10 is the taking that step. So let's just say they move in together at the 10. Sorry, I'm thinking at the same time. And anyone knows me knows that's a difficult thing for me to do. So they've went through this whole cycle. They went from ace to 10. They've moved in together, and that is us at the ace again, because it's all cycles. So they're living together. Following that, they're happy. He's on his best behavior, because we all know how disgusting men are at times, you know. He's picking up after him. He's putting his clothes in the wash basket. She's getting up and getting everything all nice and lovely and sorted, and they're having a lot of good fun together. And then say at the 3 of cups, they're taking that stage. They may live together, so they're making it on paper. They're buying a house, they're living together, it's all official. And then the 4 comes along. Oh my God, I wish he would stop leaving his wet towel all over my good bedding. And the cycle continues. To the 5, he's doing my head in. 6, remember whenever he just moved in, everything was amazing. Or, if I put the shoe on the other foot. So you can kind of see there with our wonderful cups. I see a lot of I see Joanna looks very confused looking at me. Are you seeing similarities in that, Joanna? Are you going, right, that's it, I need to go to the 8 of cups and I'm leaving? So guys, now that's just part of what we're covering tonight. So that is the cups. You can see how simple that is. You can see how easy it is to understand, especially whenever you're getting given the information from someone that knows what they're talking about. Things can be delivered in such an easy, understandable, non-complicated way. Isn't that awesome? Now, does anyone have any questions on anything that we have covered to this point? Sorry, I keep looking down because I've put us into the wee Facebook group as well, just to see if there's any questions there. So you can raise your hand. There should be a wee bit at the bottom. If you click reactions, there should be a bit to raise your hand. Any questions on what we've covered? Or you can fire it into the chat box. Okay, probably not then, which is cool. So let me just, so that's fine. There seems to be no questions coming through at the minute. That's perfect. Yes, this is recorded for whoever had asked, which is cool. So I will get my little screen share back on again, and this is the point where if you have your tarot handy, we can go through this little exercise together. I just went to begin and having a current slide. There we go. So any questions so far? That's a negative. So my laptop just does not seem to like me today, guys. I'll run get mine. Awesome. Yes, so what I am going to be looking at with you now is a very simple and effective 3-card spread. Now, I will send this spread out in an email, just so that you have it. So I know a lot of people will, whenever they're answering questions, am I gonna meet somebody? Am I gonna move house? Am I gonna meet somebody? Is the usual one, or am I gonna move house? We'll usually pick one card and just go with what they get with that one card. But this 3-card spread is all you'll need from here out, and this is very effective. This is what I use for myself whenever I was really into doing my Facebook lives. This is why I would have picked 3 cards, because it gives you a good story. Okay, so say we have our question in mind, which then we pick our 3 cards, shuffle, do whatever it is. There's no right or wrong way to do it. So our card 1 is going to tell us about the situation, about the question that's been asked. Card number 2, what action do we need to take? And then card number 3 is the outcome. Okay, so we have it very, very, very simply. Situation, what's going on at the minute, what action do we need to take, and what's the outcome going to be? So I have prepared earlier. So I shuffled my cards, picked 3 randomly, and I'll ask a question of, let's pretend, am I going to meet somebody? Because that's what everybody asks. And if we look at it here, and we know that the Justice card means balance. So that will tell me all about my current relationship life at the minute. Non-existent, first of all, let me say that. But because the Justice card falls out, and I'm asking about a relationship, I have no need to talk about legal issues at all, because why? It's irrelevant to the question. So I know that I need to take the balance part from that. So that would show me that my current situation is not balanced enough to have enough time to meet somebody. What action do I need to take? So we know that our Page of Swords, it's a great card, but it's all about new ideas, exciting new ideas. So that would suggest to me that the action that I need to take if I wanted to meet somebody is to do new things. Don't just, if you always do what you always did, you'll always get what you always got. And then the 5 of Cups card, which would be our outcome card, kind of one-sided. So that would maybe suggest to me that maybe I'm not ready for a relationship. Am I going to be internalizing things based on previous relationships? Am I going to want to not embark on a relationship? So there's a lot more information. So, you're kind of too busy for it. You don't really have the time at the Page of Swords either. And then we have our 5 of Cups. You're just not there emotionally. Now, if I was also to use these 3 cards and talk about work, for example, then I could look at my cards and go, right, okay, now I've got the balance in my work life. Okay, so say I was talking about something to do with work. So I know that it's the balance, the timing is right for my new ideas. But I also know that the Page of Swords, also in a business sense, would mean having to speak to somebody else or not being afraid of asking for help. So it's get the ideas out there. All right. Now, this is not really relevant to my life. I'm just showing you interpretations of them. And then the Five of Cups would be don't do it alone. Ask for help if you need it. Okay, so you can see there that we can read the same three cards very, very differently depending upon the question asked. So I'm going to go back to this little previous, let me see, didn't mean to do that. This little previous slide here, and I will give you all a couple of minutes to ask your own question and use three cards. And you can work away with that. So I will stop the recording for just a minute. So the course, you get your additional extras, the enhancing your intuition, the color, aura, and chakra course, the self-hypnosis track, and it's £600. You can sign up for £95 with 6 monthly payments of £85. It is that simple. It is that straightforward, and we are starting next month. So like I said, I have 10 of the packs that have the manual and the book ready to go. Doesn't matter where in the world that you are, as I will post it out to you, and you will get access to the video courses via download. I'm going to stop the little share here and see how everybody is doing. That was a lot that we got through in about 45 minutes to an hour, wasn't it? Absolutely. And I'm super excited about this course. I really, really am. You are the first people that I have told about it. I think that's actually Nicholas just signed up to it there. So there is 9 spaces left available for anyone that wants to sign up. And I am fully confident that you will be able to do readings come week 11. So you can then start to make your money back about halfway through it, which isn't that much. To be fair, if you go for the payment plan, all it takes is, say you start off at £25 for a reading, 3 to 4 readings a month will cover the cost of your course. Sean, even though I've my iPod on charge. Okay, no problem. So there is that link there for those that want to go. I am going to stop the recording now.